I'll say a few words before we start. My name's Hanford McLeod, a Wequidai Hanford McLeod, Nisqually Tribal Council member, but before I was a council member, I was a member of this community. I was the culture director, but it's been a pleasure to serve on my council for the last 2 years. This is my third year of my first term. This is my father here, Don McLeod. This is my mom, Joyce, my sister, Dadishka, and my little brother right here, Joseph. My grandparents were Janet and Don McLeod. So this teaching here that we got, this is something my grandma loved to see us do. As a young man, she taught me this. She brought a gentleman into our community from a place called the Tracking Project in New Mexico. Some of you might know John Stokes. But he's the one that came down and showed us this way. A way of ours that's been here for 1,000 years. But when he talked about it to us, you know, we took that teaching and we brought it back here. Thomas Binyaka used to always tell me as a young man that this is your culture. It's always here for you. You're the ones lost in your culture. You're the ones lost in your way. As soon as you find your culture, you'll find your way. And I took those words to heart ever since then. And I've been on this path with the family here. This is my auntie right here, Nancy. And I took this path in that oath, gave up drugs and alcohol 15 years ago to continue this work. So this other young man, I want him to raise his hand. His name's Aiden McLeod over there. He's my son. But he was also one of those purposes and ways I gave up that alcohol because the state took them from me. So I had to work to get him back, and I didn't know how much hard work that was. But what I realized is that if I continue my way on my culture and tradition, it'll all come back to you. That's part of this right here. This me being on council and working really hard. But my grandma Janet always instilled that upon us. You give away everything you got. You are rich. So in our way here, the potlatch way, that's what we do. We give everything away during these ceremonies. So we're going to do this. I'm going to have my dad and him say some words too here about the area or about this fire. Oh, so to me, the fire has always been burning in us. It's how you keep that fire burning. It's how you stoke that fire. As soon as you let that fire go out, we all know the consequences behind that, and I know there's a lot of people still struggling with that. That's the purpose of part of this being here, right here today. So I'll turn it over to my teachers.
Welcome to the territory of Medicine Creek Treaty. Welcome to the land where the fishing rights struggles started happening right here on this water. My parents are Don and Janet McLeod, and my nephew, this is my nephew. This is my little sister over here, Barbara. And this is our council member, David Bean, and Annette Bryan, and Hannah Bean. Where are you guys? But we'd like to welcome you to this area that is a strong, powerful place. Everything that started in the indigenous rights started in the West Coast. It started here. It started at my Sapadon Center. My mother made a place. But we're going to welcome this fire. We're going to welcome this fire that my nephew's getting ready that came from over in other lands. And so there'll be a lot more people coming. And the more you share this on Facebook, the more people will say, hey, what's going on down there? We need to find out what's going on down there. Because we need to be aware of everything that's going on throughout this land. Whatever affects one tribe affects every tribe on this land and across the borders. We made a treaty several years ago with the Canadian indigenous people, with the Hispanics down in Mexico, with the New Zealand people, the Hawaiian people. It's tribes without borders. And we need to find that treaty so that our leaders, this is my cousin, the youngest of our generation, Billy Frank's son, Willie Frank. And we need to give it to them so that they can take this and they can show. And one more thing I want to say, and I'm going to say it here, with the fire, with my nephew getting ready to put tobacco on it, with everybody here, that our tribes need to quit funding these politicians. Because they don't do nothing for us. Only when they want money, they'll come and say, yes, we'll do this. But in the meantime, they're destroying the land. They're destroying the water. They're destroying our spirits. So that's my message to our people. We see what's going on throughout the world. So I welcome all of you to come. Come here and enjoy. I'm going to hand this over to William Frank. His grandfather owned this land. This is his land. And it protected us during the fishing rights struggle. Oh, Matakla.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Willie Frank III. I'm a Nisqually tribal member and a Nisqually council member as well. My Indian name was Paloshkit, and that was given to me by my grandfather. And as Nancy said, this land here we're on today is sacred. We have the Wahilud Indian School right here. I teach all of our kids about our culture and our history, our traditions, and our way of life. And this river we have right behind us, the Nisqually River, where our people went to jail for fishing. My father was arrested over 50 times right here, his brother and many others. So when this came up, this event came up, Hanford and I talked about this place being the place, because this is where a lot of our wars started here, our history. And so we're glad to have everybody here, and you know, I'm honored to be here and be a part of this. And you know, I know our elders are looking down on us today, happy to see this gathering and happy to see our people coming together here. And I'm very excited, and I thank you guys very much for being here and taking part in this.
Oh.
Oh, my name is Don McLeod Jr., the oldest son of Don McLeod. I'm the descendant of this land with the family here. Probably one of the last ones that was in the canoe and watched our elders get beat up right here, right here. We were traumatized as kids, watching your parents get beat up, called law, called every name in the book. Yeah, that I seen that. I went through that. Not just from there to the school, to the unions, everywhere else. We suffered many, many things. You people don't know that. But we're not here to complain, because the fight and the struggle still goes on. The battle's still here. It might have won one little thing, but we still struggling for Mother Earth, really. But this fire we're going to start is older than us. If you've never seen it done, then we got to have one mind to get this fire going. We're not here to show you anything. We're going to build this fire. But we need you to be one-minded and not judgmental about what's happening here. Because this is a sacred fire. It'll come out. But the people in the front, you know, you got to realize you got fire makers, fire keepers, if you understand what they are. And if you don't got a fire maker and a fire keeper, and you got your runner's gonna run up 50 miles to the nearest camp and get that fire, while you all waiting here freezing and starving. So that runner's over there. He's still coming. You're still cold. Your meat ain't cooked. So in the meantime, we pray for that fire. And that fire will know. It will know it's time to be here. And he's the fire maker. It will come through him, through the people that have it. It's very powerful. So with that, we'll let it be and let it happen. A whole.
Oh.
Hi relatives, this is Dallas Goldtooth watching. I'm narrating here. What we're now going to see is relatives from the 3 affiliated tribes of North Dakota presenting the coals from the last fire at the last Protecting Mother Earth conference. And those coals are going to be handed over to our hosts.
It's the land of the Mandan, Hidatsa, and Arikara. I'm here to represent the 3 clan. Okay, I didn't know what I was going to say, but good morning, everybody. I can't just belt it out like these folks. My name is Fredo Prohorse. I'm a Arikara, Mandan, and Hidatsa. I'm from Fort Berthold. Last time we had I experienced this indigenous Protecting Mother Earth gathering. It was in our homeland in North Dakota. And my husband, his name's Scott, his Indian name is Chet Kaiser. He was the firekeeper. He wasn't able to make it. So I said I would be able to come and represent him. But when we had it back home, he kept the fire, and I was holding the kitchen down. It was a lot of work, but it was a very sacred experience for us. So I want to thank all of you for welcoming us to your homelands, and I want to thank you for keeping this fire. I didn't know what else I was going to say, but I want to say thank you from all of us. That's it.
My name is Lauren White Jr. I'm also Arikara, Hidatsa, Mandan. There at the 2011 Protecting Mother Earth Gathering, and it's such sorry it's good to see so many people from so many different places coming together at this conference, Protecting Mother Earth conference, and doing as Natives done for so long, coming together, and we're here to talk about such important things about protecting Mother Earth, protecting our rights, and I just want to hand this over to Candy.
Hello relatives, my name is Eagle Woman. Mandan Hidatsa on my dad's side, Arikara on my mom's side, Waterbuster clan and Prairie Chicken clan. In our ways at home, it's men are the keepers of the fire, women are the keepers of the water. And so I asked both Lauren and Mary to help us out this morning because Scott couldn't be here. And so Lauren's going to go ahead. My husband, we just recently got married. I can say my husband. And so my husband here is going to hand the coals over to the family. And these coals have been coming from the very first gathering in 1890. And those coals were taken to the second gathering. And those were taken to the third. And this is the 17th gathering of the coals from that first fire. And of course, time immemorial fire before that. So without further ado, we're going to hand the coals over here to the family.
Pray for that fire, we're still hungry. Sometimes it doesn't come the first time. Not like I've got big lighter, it just works. But we've been doing this ever since we learned it. It's, I call it magic in the way it is to bring this fire out. For young people to see that, to see that come out of there is very powerful to the young people. And to do that in front of them, it kind of takes it says them words that you really can't say to the young people. Only tradition can talk to them. And once you bring it out, then they understand what you're trying to say. Maybe that's where we have this English language is not very good to explain things in. And that's what we have to deal with that. If you have your language, the whole, I really appreciate that you do have a language. Here we live next to the fort, so the first thing they crushed out was the language. They took the drums away. When they come west, they knew how to deal with us. They killed the spiritual leaders, killed the leaders, and outlawed the spiritual things, where the people became lost. And if you drummed your drum, they hung you where they found you. Here they hung you with your drum. To let you know that you can't drum it no more. You're not allowed to drum it anymore. Through my struggles with drugs and alcohol myself, I had to find out why my father didn't have a drum. I didn't know why. If you're fighting these things, you have to track your culture. It's right here. It never went nowhere. It didn't go to the moon or anything. It's right here. Like you said, we're the ones that are speaking a different language now. And we pray in a different language. The language is coming back here to the younger people here. My daughter is one of them. So that's it. That's how powerful the language is. This was something my grandma and grandma wanted to know. My grandfather, Willie Frank, he knew the 5 dialects of the language here. And I'd ask him about it. You know what he told me? He told me we don't need it no more. That's what he said. You don't need this language anymore. That was my grandfather, and when your grandfather speaks, you don't ask why. And I didn't ask why, but they'd always speak their language together. That's how bad they beat them down. That's how they humiliate the people. Boarding schools. That's why this school is here. Because we had to go to boarding school and they cut your hair and they did things to you that you all know if you've been there. That's why this school was here. That's why my aunt built this school. Because when our kids went to school, there were commercial fishermen there that, hey, they were allowed to whip you back then. They're allowed to beat you in school, and that's what they did to us. That's what they did to me, my brothers, my sisters. You had that pride in you, and they wanted to beat it out of you. But there was a man here named Don McLeod. He taught me that we own this land, and you walk on it like you own it. He would tell us that every morning, kind of like in that language. His father was a master sergeant. He fought for this country. So I found out about treaties in the deck of Hiroshima. He paratrooped in there. And he took the Japanese up to that unconditional surrender that they made our people sign too. And then he made the connection. Then they taught him about the treaties. Then he came home. He was an uncommissioned officer. He said he was in the wrong effing war. And he came home and he took on the state here. I know, I was 9 years old. I was in his army. Traumatized. Hate. Prejudice. Through these traditions and through what we do here, that's the healing of it. You just let that pain go. You can't change nothing, but we can lay foundation for our youth through the language and the culture. That's what's happening here. They've come full circle here to this land.
Pray, everybody, pray. Hey!